Hello, everybody. This is Debbie from Teacher Success Coach. I hope that you guys are all well. Right, we had 1 week off for half term. Oh my goodness, 2 weeks ago. Whoa, 2 weeks ago seems so long ago. Right, for 2 weeks ago, and we've been back last week. But I must say, as an educator, it feels as if that we have not even been away because the pressure is on. The students are doing A levels, GCSE, whatever. So they're doing that, and this week they're doing mocks for year 10 and year 12. So it's just been go, go, go. This part of the academic year is normally one of the hardest time because there's so many things happening and you're trying to fit in everything to meet deadlines, etc. Okay, so that's been one of the reasons why I wasn't able to come to you guys, but I will be there from now on. What are you grateful for today? Right, this is something I say we need to demonstrate gratitude every day. The more we demonstrate gratitude, the more the universe gives us things to be grateful for. One of the things I've always been grateful for, I'm always grateful for life. So I am so grateful to be alive. I'm also grateful for my bed because it's offered me a really nice, relaxed sleep. There's sometimes we take these things for granted. When we have it, we take it for granted. We don't realize how important and precious these things are. And I'm grateful for the school I'm in, although that school is extremely challenging some days. Every day there is a fight. But I'm still grateful because it's given me some of the opportunities and the experience that I would not have had I gone to another school. However, there's sometimes when I'm at the school and I spend a certain amount of time, I'm ready to leave. Well, in this school, yes, I'm ready to leave. It's an okay school. It's fine, but I do feel now it's time for me to move on to another school. But I'm really grateful for the opportunity and the experiences given me. It's been a lot of experiences, a lot of opportunities, and it's been fantastic. The team is great. The students, oh my goodness. Every day I have to reassess myself as a teacher when it comes to these students. Because sometimes some of the behavior pattern you have to actually pause and ask yourself, is it how you have handled that? Or has it got to do with the child themselves? And something I've always said to everybody is you always have to ask yourself, how have you contributed to that situation? Because whether or not you say nothing or you say a lot, you have still contributed to that situation. So the outcome is determined on terms of what your contribution have been. Wow, today I had one of my own year 10 group, which I taught psychology to. And they're a really, really lovely group. Noisy sometimes, but overall in terms of the behavior is very, 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 very minimal. So that's not even an issue. And the last lesson I covered English lesson. One of the challenges when you do not set work for cover teacher to do with your students, because A, the students don't know what to do, B, the cover teacher doesn't know what to do. Yes, I'm a teacher in that school, but I had to cover a class. And when there is no plan, children behavior gets out of hand. And this is exactly what happened. Because although the students know that I'm a teacher in the school, the fact is there was no plan. There was nothing there for me to give them to do. So as much as I started saying to them, okay, you guys could write a story. It was off guard for me because the children already, that particular class already has a behavior issue. So the fact that there's a behavior issue with that class and then you haven't got anything planned for them, that is called disaster road. So for me, although I'm a very experienced teacher, that was a disaster road for me because I've given them something to do. I said to them, okay, I want you to do a story for me. Some of them will say, no, miss, we don't have to do that. We are doing a presentation. We need to practice our presentation. You had some students who were practicing the presentation, and you had some of them that was just busy chatting. It doesn't matter how much I contain it. The fact that there was nothing planned for them to do, it became an issue for me and for the student. I spent a lot of time, A, babysitting, B, disciplining them. in the sense that names on board, you put the name on the board, they rub the name off. And I thought, you know what? I too old for all of this. I'm not even bothering to put names on board. And then you have students want to start saying to you, oh, miss, I'm going to report you because you want to you want to give me a detention. I'm not even arguing. That's not even a peaceful discussion or argument. I'm not even entertaining that. That did not need entertaining because that student just wanted to have an issue. Me, I said nothing. I just went to sit down and I just left them to chat. It was very frustrating for me because there was nothing planned for me to give them to do. And I was quite annoyed because when I finished that session, I sent the person who actually gave me a cover a very strong email. Because one of the things for me is, if you haven't given a cover teacher work that is planned for them to give students, the class gets out of hand. Because as we know, in order to contain children's behavior, you need to make sure that you have a plan for them to do. So therefore they know from the word go that this is what they're going to be doing and this is what you expect from them. But when you have no plan for them, it was quite obvious because the student said to me, oh, miss, what are we doing? I said, hold on, I'm just looking. I looked and I didn't say anything. So they know there was nothing there for them to do. So it doesn't matter how much I disciplined them, there was no plan. And as I said, in order to contain behavior, we need to have clear plan and structure for students so they know exactly what they're doing and when they're doing it. But when we do not have a plan and a structure, you do expect, whether or not it's low-level behavior or high-level behavior, you do expect and you do get behavior issue. And that's what I had. So I end up having to put 3 or 4 students on detention. One student felt that he wanted to challenge me. I don't get involved with challenging from students. There's no argument on my part. So that was very, very frustrating for me today. So I did send a letter to the head who gave me the cover, and I sent him under no condition that any teacher should be given cover without clear direction and structure as to what students need to do, because it does cause an issue. And the other thing I say to him as well, I say, if you are not giving, if there's no cover work or no structure, I will not be doing the cover, because there's no point in that. I was just battling with students. Well, I wasn't battling with students, but that's what they wanted from me, is a battle. So that's one of the issues when it comes to having structure. You need to have structure so that students are contained. So that's one of the things in terms of containing behavior. You need real guidelines and structure. That was what was failing there. So it didn't even help my class, because that was already a disruptive class. So it then just, escalated the behavior in the class as far as I was concerned. So that, that was one of the class I had today. So it actually gave me opportunity to reflect. And it just reinforced and reminded myself that in order to have minimum behavior and disruption in classes, as we know as experienced teacher, you need to make sure you have structure so students know exactly what they have to do, so that they are on task. And when there's no structure and no focus, you would always have disruption. And this was clear reinforcement in my session today. So I was grateful for an aspect of that, because it gave me the reminder. And it gave me, I had a lot of reflection. But at the same time, when I got back to the staff room, I was washed out. I was exhausted. I didn't even plan my lesson for tomorrow morning. I just say to my colleague, we usually go home together. I say, I'm ready to leave. She says she too, because she also had a challenging class as well, which was another year 10. What we seem to be having in a lot of the schools I've actually taught in the last 18 months, the year 10 students are extremely disruptive. And there's something called self-fulfilling prophecy. The fact that they've been labeled disruptive, they've been labeled disruptive, they begin to demonstrate that disruption. So therefore it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. However, at that group, at that age where they are year 10, it's a number of uncertainty unsure of what they're going to be doing, where they are, etc. So as a result of that, you will have the disruption and the behavior pattern, which begins to demonstrate itself. So that's some of the things that I've experienced in a number of schools I've taught in. In the last 18 months, I probably have taught in, probably 10 schools, either doing cover or short term, etc. And I have been giving year 10 students, although initially I was saying no, but then I began to embrace it because there was a lot to learn from year 10 students. And one of the things I've noticed is it doesn't matter what school it is, you still have that behavior problem. It may not be as great as some schools, but you still have that uncertainty, unsure, not too sure what to do, so therefore they're going to try it. The behavior is all over the place, etc. And I've got lots of colleagues in other schools, and we exchange ideas, etc. And the same thing they all say to me, the year 10 groups, they're challenging. So my thing is, I'm now looking for a new position for September. One of the things I keep on saying to everybody, I do not want to teach year 10. That was a group I have not taught for a long time because I've always taught sixth formers, but I decided to accept a year 10 group just to see what it's like. Yes, I've got the experience. Yes, I've got the learning, and thank you very much for that. It's now time for me to move out of there and continue on my journey of teaching sixth formers. It's a transitional period for that group of students. The transition in terms of the uncertainty, the transition in terms of not too sure what to do, the transition in terms of also feeling lost, because this group of children is, I think they're 15-year-olds. So it's all of that, all this hormonal imbalance that's going through them, etc. Because some of them would be selected for the GCSE. Some have done that already and some would be doing that. So it's like all that issue that's going on in there. So I am grateful for that opportunity, but thank you very much. It's now time for me to move out of there. I'm very stuck up because I'm suffering from hay fever. That's another story. The hay fever and I have been having a dialogue because, as we know, 95% of our illness is caused through our minds psychologically. So I've been having some dialogue with this hay fever because I've given it 7 days to leave my body, and I think I'm on day 4 and it's still there. So we need to have some, some loving discussion again so that this hay fever needs to go because I'm just really blocked up. Anyway, that was what I was going to talk about. So in terms of gratitude, so what are you grateful for? Remember, you need to demonstrate what your wins are, and you need to demonstrate what you're grateful for. Remember, in terms of your win, you need to change the concept, because win is not always getting it all right. Winning is also learning something. So it's like, you win, you still learn. You lose, you still learn. So I see those are double learning in terms of winning, because win and learn, lose and learn. So learning is always taking place. So what are you grateful for? And what are your wins? For me, my win is, yes, that might sound weird, but in terms of my teaching of the year 10 group, one of the things for me, the winning aspect is reinforcement of clear planning and direction reduces behavior. So that was a reinforcement for me. So that was an aspect of learning. Another thing is for me is one of the other thing I learned for today is I had a year 12, health and social care. Oh my goodness, it's been taking me a while and taking them a while to connect for them to have the aha moments in terms of we looking at health promotion. And today, after all this time I've been going through health promotion, they've actually got it. So that was a big win for me today. They understood it, and it actually was an aha moment for them. And it was a fantastic moment for me because I'm thinking, whoa, my students have actually got it. They've understood it. So it's now time for us to go on and start doing the assignment. So from tomorrow, I'm going to give them the assignment. So that was my win today. So I had 2 wins. One of them was through a negative aspect, but that was a win because it reinforced in my head that in order to reduce behavior, you need to make sure you have structure and your lesson or your cover is well planned, so it reduces the behavior issue. The other win for me was my student actually having aha moment, and I'm now able to move on with the assignment. What's your win today? What are you grateful for today? Identify what your win is. And sometimes you need to reassess your win. Sometimes you need to redefine what winning is, because winning is not always getting it right, as I said. Winning is actually realizing, okay, I'm able to do this today that I was able to do yesterday. So that's a win. So redefining winning will actually enable you to see things that you're grateful for. Gratitude is demonstrating winning as well. Anyway, guys, I want you to identify what your wins are today. And I also want you to identify what you're grateful for today. Right, by the end of the week, I think I said that last week, I'm writing a few programs that I want to bring to my female empowerment group. So women, I've got an empowerment group. It's called Transformation and Empowerment. Join the group. And as from the end of this week, I'll be doing a number of courses in there to empower women who have actually lost their way. I've also got another group called Female Educators Reclaim Your Life, where I actually talk everything education in there as well. So female educators, join the group. I hear you guys saying, why everything to do with women? Because women have always been given the short straw in society. Because when you look at the definition of how women are within the family, they've always been they've always played the supportive role. And I think a lot of the time they've forgotten one as well. So that's the reason why my role as a female coach is to empower female either educators or just women in general. Right, so one of the things I'll be looking at is empowerment for women. How society see women and what their role have always been and still is. Although we have close equality as possible, we still have the situation where women in society is still not seen on par as the men. Because when you look at some organization and some industry, you'll find far more women there than any other than male, and the opposite. In education, they're far more female than there are males, and that has to do with the role of women, which is the caring role. And in terms of science, STEM subjects, very few women are in that. So therefore, that tells us that women are still seen as the nurturers, and the role have always been that of nurturing. So that's something we need to look at. So hence the reason why my role is to empower women, because a lot of them need empowerment. I'm getting really blocked up. Anyway, guys, have a fantastic evening, night, morning where you are. Have a great evening. Stay blessed. Take care. Hi, Mayona. Hi, Anne. Hi, Teresa. Wishing you guys a fantastic evening. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.